Greetings, everyone. This is Scotty Reed. I just wanted to comment on what Sarah Palin had to say about her son, Track, I believe is his name, and blaming President Obama for his act of domestic violence and trying to link it to post traumatic stress disorder, which is a very serious problem with veterans here in the United States. But from what I have heard, from what the reports have been saying about what Track said to the police upon being arrested for beating up his girlfriend. Well, I don't know how serious it was or anything like that, but he said that they got into it because she was still in contact with an ex boyfriend. So it doesn't sound like Track was sleeping and she was sleeping in the bed next to him, or heard a loud noise and he just started flipping out and trying to kill people because he's suffering from post traumatic stress disorder. No, we're not hearing any of that. So I'm not even going to try to even justify any kind of links to PTSD in this specific case because, again, this is a very serious issue. It does happen here in the United States, but again, I don't think that she can use PTSD to explain why her son is beating up women. She says it goes straight to the top, and like my mother had said to me about it. Yeah, it goes straight to you, Sarah Palin, that you didn't raise your sons not to be beating up on women and whatnot. And I wonder where he got that from. Is Todd beating your ass around the house or something? I don't know. I don't where the Track think or get this behavior from. Some people say the apple don't fall too far from the tree. So I don't know, Sarah Palin, are you a domestic violence victim or are you beating up, your husband Todd or whatnot? Maybe that's where he's learning it from you. Okay, now listen, let's get serious here. I have never heard Sarah Palin other than using veterans or U.S. military soldiers as props. You know, I have never heard her be a champion or advocate for the issues that they go through. We got I think a quarter of homeless people are veterans. That's a huge problem right there. But I am an abolitionist. For those that don't know what that word means, I'm a new abolitionist, a new abolitionist, and that I am working against 21st century slavery and human trafficking, which is legalized through the 13th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which says that people can be put into slavery and involuntary servitude as long as you convict them of a crime. And I don't want to get into the long history of how Congress then passed laws to criminalize certain people, certain behaviors, to increase the number of prison slaves that they have. The United States has 25% of the world's prison population, while only having 5% of the world's population, period. Okay. But a lot of people don't know. In my research for a radio program I'm a part of, New Abolitionist Radio, I had wrote an article about you got at least 1 million veterans in prison right now, either in prisons or in jails. 1 million of them. And these aren't like a bunch of old World War II or Vietnam veteran. No, these are people around my age. I am a Gulf War veteran, even though I don't like to wear that label on my sleeve or anything like that. I am a Gulf War veteran from the 1990s, early 1990s. But most of these veterans are returning from Afghanistan and Iraq. All right, so that's who the prisons are filled with. Prisons and jails are filled with these people, right? Now, I estimate that at least 500,000 of those, 500,000 of those veterans that are in prisons and jails are in there because of nonviolent so-called drug crimes. Again, these aren't crimes where they rape someone or broke into somebody's house and stole. No, they got caught in possession of drugs, or maybe they were growing their own, or maybe they were selling drugs trying to supplement their income since Jobs are a little hard to find in the United States, unless, of course, you go to prison. All right. So I estimate at least a half a million of those veterans that are in prisons and jails are in there for nonviolent drug crimes, using drugs mostly to treat their PTSD. The United States government and the medical community knows that cannabis, some of you may know it as weed or pot, is a very good natural herb that has had a lot of success in treating post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, and but we still got a whole lot of states where you get locked up for this sort of thing, and so I don't see Hillary Clinton. I mean, excuse me, not Hillary Clinton, but Sarah Palin. Uh, advocating for the legalization of cannabis so all these veterans wouldn't get locked up for using cannabis if they live in a state that still has it outlawed and whatnot. I don't hear her advocating for any of our 1 million veterans. And again, half a million of them, I estimate, based on my research, are in there for nonviolent drug offenses. So I just thought that that was an important point that's missing from this story or from this debate. And I'm actually glad Sarah Palin brought it up. I think Alaska is one of the states that just recently legalized cannabis in the state and for recreational as well as medicinal use. So maybe if Track start treating his PTSD or whatever problems he has with, domestic violence. Maybe if he's start treating himself with cannabis, then he won't be so violent. All right, this is Scotty. Those are my thoughts. I'm out.